one by one they are falling like dominoes. The cities across America that have decided to stop injecting a toxic, endocrine-disrupting halogen into their water supplies, that is. According to a recent announcement by WTAW News Talk 1620, 6 of the 7 city council members in College Station, Texas, voted to end artificial water fluoridation, a practice that has been taking place there for more than 2 decades. While Italy and Germany slug it out for the title of world's largest solar market, the U.S. is hitting its own major photovoltaic milestone. Last year, the U.S. solar market managed to consume 887 megawatts of solar panels. This year, the U.S. of A breaks the 1 gigawatt bar for the first time en route to a forecasted 2011 total of 1.8 gigawatts. The GTM research team has crunched the numbers and, utilizing our state-of-the-art parallel processor supercomputer, the MJ3000, has determined that the 1 gigawatt mark will be achieved on October 18th at 3:15 p.m. when Mr. and Mrs. Shane McHenry install a 3 kilowatt system on their guest house. Hurricane Ophelia Public Advisory. 5 p.m. Saturday, October 1st, 2011. The eye of Hurricane Ophelia expected to pass east of Bermuda in the next few hours. Heavy squalls approaching. Typhoon Nesat causes heavy damage in South China with its strong winds and torrential rain. A rain-triggered cave-in, measuring nearly 3,200 cubic meters, forced the closure of a county highway in the city of Fangchenggang at 1:30 p.m. A road bridge in the city of Qinzhou was destroyed after being hit by 3 motorized water vessels. More than 1.82 million people in Guangxi have been affected by Typhoon Nesat, which made landfall Friday, the Ministry of Civil Affairs said in a statement Saturday afternoon. Manning Beef, LLC, a Pico Rivera, California, establishment, is voluntarily recalling approximately 80,000 pounds of beef products that may be contaminated with E. coli, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced today. So far, no one has proven it's a scam, but they haven't proven it's for real either. This week more than 700 senior citizens filled out a rather skimpy form promising $500 check from the American Opportunity Stimulus Program. They filled in sensitive information like their name, address, birth date and social security numbers, all with the promise of getting a Visa check card in return. But on Thursday, Fulton County government put out a warning that it might be an identity theft scam. They even sent their own camera crew to the Atlanta headquarters of Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network, where the forms were being handed out by Vanessa Emerson and her son, Brandon. The second typhoon in a week battered northern Philippines on Saturday, while several other Asian nations also reeled from flooding. Typhoon Nalgae slammed ashore Saturday south of northeastern Palawan Bay in Isabela province with winds of 100 miles per hour and dangerous gusts of 121 miles per hour. It was making a similar path across the saturated Luzon Island as Typhoon Nesat, which earlier in the week sent waves that breached a seawall in Manila Bay. Nesat also pummeled southern China and was downgraded to a tropical storm before turning into northern Vietnam, where 20,000 evacuated. At least 5 towns in the province of Bulacan and Pampanga, north of Manila, remained submerged 3 days after Typhoon Nesat had moved on. Nalgae, a Korean word for wing, was forecast to reach Luzon's western shore Saturday and exit to the South China Sea as a Category 1 typhoon as it moves toward China's Hainan Island. Plane crashes into Ferris wheel at Old Bar, Taree, Australia. The light aircraft lodged in the frame of the amusement ride more than 10 meters off the ground. A 9-year-old boy and the 13-year-old girl who were on the Ferris wheel at the time of the incident were trapped for more than an hour before being rescued. All the people involved in that incident do appear to have been able to get away without any serious injury, a rural fire services spokesman said. An airplane was evacuated and a runway closed at the Philadelphia International Airport on Friday. The plane is a U.S. Airways flight that arrived in Philadelphia from Knoxville. When the plane landed at Philly International, the pilot reported seeing smoke in the cockpit. The plane was soon evacuated as a precaution and the passengers were taken to the terminal. No one was injured. Update from the New York Post. A horde of Wall Street demonstrators shut down the Brooklyn Bridge for 2.5 hours this afternoon, halting traffic and clashing with cops as many were arrested on the famed span's roadway. About 100 cars were left stranded as the crowd covered the crossing from end to end in a day of demonstrations against high unemployment, bank bailouts and financial pain for the masses. Stay safe. Stay calm. Make your demands clear, and be precise. And kind. Leadership of the United Steelworkers, with 1.2 million active and retired members, issued a statement on Friday in support of the Occupy Wall Street protest movement. The USW stands in solidarity with and strongly supports Occupy Wall Street. The brave men and women, many of them young people without jobs, who have been demonstrating around the clock for nearly 2 weeks in New York City are speaking out for the many in our world. The sounds of Occupy Wall Street.
This is Dan Patterson again at Zuccotti Park for Occupy Wall Street. Behind me are the sounds of Occupy Wall Street. The march has begun. The protesters are thus far still very peaceful. There are lines of police everywhere, thousands of protesters. Behind me you hear the sounds of Occupy Wall Street.
And Jolly Mullaney, the social media editor at New York Daily News, tweeted that hundreds of protesters were kettled on both decks of the Brooklyn Bridge. Cops systematically arresting them and loading them on NYPD buses. This is still happening as of the 1st of October 2011 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Update. October 1st, 2011 at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. It has been upgraded to about 400 being arrested in the Occupy Wall Street protest.
On the bridge, so I'm gonna have to get rid of the equipment right now and save all the media.
We'll keep rolling on hard tape.
Keep rolling on hard tape. The stuff will be up. Everything that happens. Hold the bridge!
Global Revolution brings you stream video coverage from independent journalists on the ground at nonviolent protests around the world, and here on Wall Street. The live video appears to be down now, but be sure to check back often, and spread the word of these arrests on the Brooklyn Bridge. Stay safe out there. Stay peaceful and come together to find the best solution to deal with the inevitable engineered provocateurs. The CIA operative Raymond Davis, who was freed from a Pakistani prison after the U.S. paid $2.3 million in blood money, was arrested Saturday morning in Highlands Ranch after he allegedly fought with another man over a parking spot, CALL-7 investigators have learned. Raymond Davis was arrested outside an Einstein Bagels at the town center at Highlands Ranch Parkway and South Broadway. Aaron Bassler, apparently wanted in 2 North Coast slangs, was shot and killed in the woods outside Fort Bragg on Saturday, according to law enforcement sources. The circumstances of his death were still unclear Saturday afternoon, but a deputy with the Sacramento Sheriff's Department said a colleague from his agency was involved in the shooting, which occurred around midday. Another so-called enemy of the state not brought to trial? Maybe they'll bury him at sea. Glad these two in the picture above can congratulate each other over a death. Device used to steal your cell phone data during traffic stop. You may have heard about the Celebrite cell phone extraction device UFED in the news lately. It gives law enforcement officials the ability to access all the information on your cell phone within a few short minutes. When it became known that Michigan State Police had been using the tool to access cell phones during traffic stops, it raised concern with the ACLU. Now, everyone is wondering if cops will be using devices like this elsewhere. Will this new law enforcement tool be abused, or will it be used responsibly in the pursuit of justice? Ground-shaking booms still puzzle Louisville neighborhood. Dozens of other residents in the neighborhood are unable to say exactly what it is. All they know is the mysterious booms have provided several rude awakenings that sent residents scrambling in fear. Last Monday, about a week and a half ago, it was around 3 a.m. and all of a sudden there was loud explosion, said resident Andy Wambold. It sounded like it came from inside our house. It shook the walls. It shook the floor. It shook the ceiling. Geologists have recorded earthquakes with epicenters in Manning County, Ohio just 6 times, and all happened in the past 6.5 months. All have occurred west of the Manning River, in close proximity to Salt Springs Road. The 6 earthquakes registered magnitudes ranging from 2.2 to 2.6. But why, after a lifetime with no earthquakes centered in Manning County, is the area averaging a quake per month? Snow on Staten Island this weekend? It's a distinct possibility, though frost is more likely, according to ACC weather meteorologist Brian Edwards. The Weather Reporting Service, headquartered in State College, Pennsylvania, says the greater New York City area can expect its first real taste of winter as sharply colder temperatures blast across the Northeast over the next few days. The cold air is expected to visit the Great Lakes area tonight and Friday before it moves into the Middle Atlantic region. Temperatures will fall to levels more like late November. The U.S. Postal Service, near bankruptcy and losing billions of dollars every quarter pushing a product no one wants, unveiled today its new strategy to regain some relevance. That strategy involves scaring consumers about the dangers of email and online bill payment in several new 30-second TV commercials. The ads tell consumers that unlike email and online services, paper mail delivered door-to-door can't fall prey to a virus. Let's not count the anthrax scare of 2001, since anthrax is technically a bacteria. Okay, friends. We need our post offices, and this is appearing more and more that our post offices are low, and useless, and not needed, and worse, like this article states, creating ads that clearly make them look horrible. Like credit cards to paper money. What happens when you can't access it? Perhaps the idea of spy drones already makes you nervous. Maybe you're uncomfortable with the notion of an unblinking, robotic eye in the sky that can watch your every move. If so, you may want to click away now. Because if the army has its way, drones won't just be able to look at what you do. They'll be able to recognize your face and track you based on how you look. Update. October 1st, 2011 at 8:30 p.m. Hurricane Ophelia Public Advisory. Ophelia intensifies into a Category 4 hurricane as it passes east of Bermuda.